All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 75th installment of the Frying Pan Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Bellbottom Sear, and I'm here with my lovely casting co-host,
Robert Double Dog D'Onofrio. How's it going, folks? I'm here from overseas. I'm back and I'm ready to roll.
After years of spending overseas casting the Saudi Arabian UFC, we have him back finally, the Double Dog D'Onofrio. Let me tell you, he's got the best dog I've ever seen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great dogs.
Oh, that totally made me break character, to be honest with you.
Welcome all my lovely people who listen to this podcast in quarantine, because you can't go anywhere because the state mandates it. I said my name and Robert said his name, so if you should know who we are. And
you should say your name now so we know who you are.
We'll make it like a Dora the Explorer kind of thing. And what's your name, listener?
Great.
That's great.
Can you see the goose?
That's wonderful. He is right over there.
Muy bien.
Très bien. Don't fuck with geese.
Anywho.
Geese are awful animals. Yeah. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, no, they're fucking spawns of Satan. Why do they have bills and teeth, man? That shit's whack.
I don't know. They're just kind of whack animals. Like, if God decided to, like, just snap and take them out, I'd be like, thank you.
They're like murder birds.
Same with...
Well, wasn't there a guy recently murdered by his, like, pet and big birds or some shit like that? Oh, God. Hold on.
We'll get Steven on it real quick. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised. It's like Tiger King saw the rage. Carol fed her husband to tigers. And I haven't watched the show, but I've seen enough memes to think, sure, why not? She probably did it.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
I did not. Oh, okay. So, a guy was killed by 6 of his pet cassowaries. And basically, it's the first time it happened since, like, I think, like, the 1940s. They're just a species of big bird. Long story short, how did we get... I don't really know how we got to this topic of murderous birds now I think about it.
Oh, because geese are awful. And they're, like, basically...
Geese are awful.
Yeah, they are murderous birds. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, and apparently swans are kind of dicks as well. Like, they've been known to drown people.
Yeah. Are ducks bad?
Ducks, I think, are rapists.
Yeah, no, isn't, like, female ducks have, like... They have, like, a fake vagina?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's correct.
Yeah, I don't fuck with ducks. I don't fuck with any of those.
Yeah, you know, the animal kingdom, really, when you apply human terms to it, becomes a lot less beautiful in nature and a lot more cynical and rapey.
Yeah, it's just kind of life. I mean, I guess, like, you gotta think, like, you know, animals, they're still pretty primitive in their evolutional cycle compared to us. Monkeys aren't that far behind, though. They're in, like, their Stone Age, apparently.
You know, I hear that, but I never know what that really means, though. Because, like, when we were in our Stone Age, we weren't... Like, we weren't still monkeys in the Stone Age, you know what I mean?
Well, it's like, in the Stone Age, as in they're doing... Like, they're starting to understand, like... I can use this rock to break open this thing, or something like that.
Okay, so, like, their level of understanding's going up?
Yeah.
Alright. That makes more sense.
Makes sense.
Because I was thinking of it purely from, like, an evolutionary standpoint, and I was like, well, what would make them in the Stone Age now, of all times? Like, they haven't genetically changed, like, you know, but that makes sense now.
You got it. You're smart.
Anywho.
So, how have you been occupying yourself in this quarantine as of late? Anything exciting?
You know, guys, I may or may not be on a hot track to being actually interested in playing a video game again for the first time in a long time.
This is groundbreaking for if you don't know Robert.
Cause like I get urges to play games, and I enjoy playing games from time to time. It's just like I haven't had one that's just sucked me in and had me captivated and had me just like, rearing to play.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been playing this game called Final Fantasy XIV. It's an MMORPG, and I've talked about in the podcast in the past, like I used to play World of Warcraft back in like middle school and high school and like beginning of high school, but I've since quit. And like I always kind of like as someone that plays video games, I've always longed for a game to kind of have me as captivated and as interested as WoW did for me, as World of Warcraft did for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm given Final Fantasy the third try recently, and for some reason this time around, I'm thinking just because it's quarantine, there's really, truly nothing else to do. I've just been enjoying myself, I've been taking it slow, been enjoying the game, been enjoying the atmosphere. So I'm excited. Hopefully I stick with it. Hopefully it turns into something that I can casually play, on a regular basis. We'll see.
Well, I'm happy for you, and I hope it does take off for you and you get swallowed in.
I do as well. It's been a while. I feel like it could do the mental some good. I've also been watching some anime, which I took a long break from actually in terms of myself, because I watched a lot in high school, and then senior year it started kind of petering out. And then once I got into college, it was like maybe I'd finish like one show a month, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'd keep up with some current stuff. But lately, I've just been going and rewatching some stuff that I enjoyed when I was a kid, and just kind of seeing what it's like. Just because I have a very strong appreciation for animation as a genre. I love production. I love music, the scores that go into it. So I always had that admiration for it, so I've been going back and seeing if the shows that I thought were really good when I was younger still hold up or what.
See, I feel you on that. Lately I've been debating on if I want to go back in anime, because I haven't sat down and watched a show in probably a couple years, 3 years maybe. It's been a long time, and I've been getting clips of animes that I recommended on YouTube, and I'll watch it from time to time, and I'm I guess it's a nostalgic kind of feel. I don't know.
No, I completely vibe with that. Yeah, it's because really society can tell you that anime is immature, right? Mm-hmm. But unless you're watching explicitly kiddie stuff, right? You don't really have to outgrow anime, you know what I mean? It could just be something that falls into your regular watching. I mean, it kind of has already to a certain degree. Anime is pretty widely accepted nowadays, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the same as just popping on any Netflix show. It's the same as watching Tiger King.
Sheesh, I don't even know what the hell that show's about. All I know is that's all the internet's talking about.
Dude, I feel that. I haven't watched any of it at all, but everyone I know has watched it, and they tell me oh, it's so good. But I've seen so many memes to the point where I feel I've already seen the show and I don't need to.
Dude, I don't even know how it's good. I'll see headlines of Tiger King, Joe Exotic's crackhead hillbilly gay boyfriend is and I'm what? What is this show even about? What goes on here?
I saw that same shit and I was just oh, okay, sure.
I don't even know what's the show about. It says Tiger King, but it seems it's more than just about tigers, so I don't know.
If you've seen Tiger King, give us a brief TLDR, because I don't want to watch all 7 episodes.
Quite frankly, I'm with Dan on that one. I don't know, maybe it's one of those shows where it's I'll be screw it, I'll watch episode 1, and then I'll be up till 4 in the morning, on episode 6.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know how you feel, but I always feel when I sit down and watch a series, I feel it's a waste of time, even though I could do the same thing with video games, and that's essentially a waste of time too. I don't know.
Well, okay, so that really depends on what you categorize a waste of time as, right? Because, like, I know me as a person, I won't count anything as, like, a waste of time as long as I can get something out of it. Whether it's momentary enjoyment, a life lesson, you know, if anything from something small that made me smile to something that made me, you know, have a new thought process. You know what I mean? So as long as I can get something out of it, like, and even then, when you're watching a show, just be, like, you're not doing nothing, and I feel like that alone should kind of make you feel like at least you're not wasting your time, because wasting your time would literally be letting the hours just roll by completely not doing anything.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So would you say for you it's more like you feel like you should be doing something better?
Well, it's like I feel like I'm not gaining anything from watching a show. Like, even if it is like momentary joy, I feel like that doesn't, I don't want to say doesn't matter to me, but I feel like I could get more from something else, you know?
All right. I mean, I kind of see that. I mean, like, I don't know. I can't really help or get really my head around the case, because, like, if I said that, then I would be like, well, I watched like 2 hours of YouTube today, or of pretty much daily, for no ass reason, just on shit that I don't even care about.
See,
so like
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Is like I'll spend 2 hours watching like just YouTube cooking videos, and like I'll feel like, oh, I learned a new recipe, and that makes sense. And like that's how I justify it to myself, but it's literally like what you said. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So like I guess it's really like how it all connects in your head, right?
Yeah. But
Well, I know for me personally, like when it comes to like I can get behind watching anime because they're only 20-minute episodes at the most, pretty much, or very far and few between are more than 20 minutes. So like I always feel like at least I'm not dedicating an hour out of my day for this one episode. So I don't know, that helps me watch it.
I will say, backtracking to getting excited about a game that you can get hooked onto. Lately, the latest craze in the whole video game universe is a game called Valorant, and it's in a closed beta right now. And the only way to get it is by watching Twitch streams and linking your Riot account to the Twitch stream. And it's like, I don't know the exact numbers on how many like actual like beta codes there are for people, but apparently people are getting them, and I am not one of them. And am I upset about it? Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I'd say I would go as far as say I'm very bitter about it even.
Well, do you want to explain why you're bitter?
Well, I mean, I kind of did. It's just like there's like a certain amount of drops, and you have to like actively be watching this. Well, you don't have to be actively. You can have it like on a separate tab and just have it open. But it's supposed to be like random drops, random people get it. So people that are watching for like 5 minutes will get a drop. But if you're somebody like me who's like had it on in the background for the past like 3 days and hasn't gotten anything, I'm a little bitter. I'm a little, you know, upset.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, me not getting anything, that's what's wrong with it for me, but it's whatever.
Well, I mean, being bitter about it. Huh. You know, it's even made better by one of our friends that's definitely not going to play the game, got a key for the game.
Yeah. And it's not like you can like share the key to your friends because it's like account bound. So I'm just sitting here. I have it open on my phone on my bed, like behind me. So my hope, my prayer is that when we finish his podcast and I turn around and check it, there'll be one there waiting for me. Because if there is a God, it'll be there.
He invokes if there is a God, okay.
I pulled the if there's a God card, so
wow.
Christians, do your thing, I guess.
Alright, God, your move. You decide.
The ball is in your court. I'd love to see what you play.
Jeez.
Basically where I'm at right now. So I'm kind of upset about that, but I guess it's giving me something to like be hopeful about during quarantine. So in all, it's not about the key. It's about the friends we make along the way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
He's not bitter. You know, he's not bitter. He's not bitter. Not at all. He hasn't talked about not getting a Valorant key for like the last 2 days or anything?
No, I don't bring it up like every hour and like, oh, where is it? Oh, I don't have it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a source of every joke that's come my way for the last ever. Sheesh.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty funny, so like, I always just slap.
Well, you are a funny guy, Daniel. You are a pretty funny guy. Actually, side note. So I ordered new glasses, and you want to hear something funny?
What?
So I saw what type of frames they were. Your boy's going back to Harry Potter, man. I'm ready.
You got the big circular ones?
I don't think they're big circular ones.
Damn.
It didn't say the dimensions. So like I don't actually know how big they are. It says they like count the lens size as relatively small. So
You really just do be copying my style all the time, don't you, Robert?
dude, I mean, okay, if we're talking about circular glasses, then you copied me, man. That was my elementary school special.
That doesn't count. I didn't know you back then.
Hell yeah, it does, bro.
I can't.
Elementary school, circle glasses. Middle school, square glasses. High school, rectangle glasses. College, teardrops. Now, or not teardrops, drops.
Yes.
And
What?
and now in my latter half of college, circles maybe. I don't know how they'll look on me, to be honest, but I'm not opposed to buying a new pair of glasses if they look very bad.
I feel that.
Having two pairs of glasses is never a bad thing.
I have 3, just in case.
See, I wish I could use my old glasses, bro. Shit. I splurged and got them at like 3:30 in the morning because like I was leaning back in my chair and I was just struggling to read stuff on my monitor just because I was leaning back. Like I don't want to be on top of my monitor anymore. And I had a prescription from like just before Christmas that I remembered that I went and got, so I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, I have like 3 glasses and I use them for like different things. Like it's the same prescription on all of them, but like the way the lenses are, like I don't know, I'll wear certain ones with certain outfits, or like if I'm looking at a screen, I wear a certain pair. If I'm reading a book, I wear a different pair. I don't know.
Interesting.
But they're all like the same prescription, so in reality it doesn't matter. But I guess I'm just weird.
Hey man, might as well switch out that way.
Also, speaking of weird, this first topic's really weird to me. And it's there's a 17-year-old kid and his name's Avi Schiffman. First off,
Avi.
Oh, Avi, it makes more sense than Avi. But they made a website to track like the numbers of corona, and they got offered to like put ads on the website, and he was supposed to, I guess he was going to make like roughly like 8 million from it, and he turned it down. And I don't like, people were like commending him on it, but I don't understand why. And I was wondering if you can help me maybe find the reason.
So, okay. First, I could say what I would do. So, or the reason why I would do it is like one of the biggest issues right now is misinformation spread with the coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
And now, when you think about that, like I feel like adding ads into a resource that's keeping people current with what's actually happening with it would just muddy the waters. It would distract people from the raw data that they need to be seeing, if that makes sense. Like it would basically, like, I guess almost it would make something that's very stark, like the statistics for coronavirus, something that's very cut and dry, seem way too like modern website-esque, you know what I mean? It'd be like Facebook was telling me the statistics if it was just covered in ads, you know what I mean?
I mean, I get that, but even I feel like that's such a stretch. Like I feel like it's reaching too hard to find, because like think of this, like if he gets the 8 million and he's really like about helping the corona, he could just immediately donate that.
All right, so the companies that want ad space on their website, instead of paying this kid for the ad revenue, could just also donate.
Oh no, I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying in terms of this, they would be doing
basically, it's not like they would be having ads for healthcare on there. You know what I mean? Like, it could be any kind of ad. So like, this kid probably is thinking like, well, why would I like? Basically, the advertisers, they want to cash in on people visiting this website because it's going to be high traffic, because it's a very good website that updates people on, the statistics of coronavirus. So there basically would be, from people trying to be informed because of this pandemic, they'd be profiting in a way.
Yeah.
Which I personally wouldn't vibe with.
No, I understand that, and like that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like it's worth like $8 million, especially in time like this. Like, I understand, like, in the sense of like being prideful and you don't want it to muddy the water, and like that, all that makes sense. But I think turning down $8 million out of pride is just fairly ignorant.
I don't know. I don't see, you're making it out of pride. Like, I think it's more of principle than pride.
I feel like those go hand in hand.
No, because like principle, like people can like say someone's being prideful when they're not changing their stance just because it's a stance that you wouldn't take, right? Like, he's just sticking to his morals and his values on this one. He's taking his moral high ground. He's placing himself above the $8 million because he believes it's for a good cause.
Yeah. But I mean, then it could come back to that $8 million could go to a good cause.
I mean, yeah, but still, it doesn't change the fact that he would be kind of selling out in a way. He made this resource to help people, and then now he's covering it with ads.
But I get it, and like I entirely get the perspective, like what you're saying. Like, I'm just more or less playing devil's advocate at this point. Like, it's still like, I don't think it's.
I mean, hey man, like if the go-getter in you is like $8 million fucking dollars, why would you ever turn that down? Like, I would agree. Like, I don't know if I would have this same mindset if I was offered $8 million, because that's still $8 million that I don't have, that I could definitely use right now.
That's all I'm saying is, like, there's no doubt. Like, I get it would muddy the site. There's ads everywhere, yada yada. But at the same time, it's like, if you're really huge on trying to make an impact, then you could do a lot with that $8 million, or just keep it for yourself.
I mean, yeah.
Like, you create something great. Why not be rewarded for it?
Oh, I mean, okay. To be fair, socially, I'm sure there's like, I know he is a kid, but it probably would be socially frowned upon as well to make $8 million off of a site that tracks coronavirus in itself. Because I mean, that's kind of like profiting off the pandemic in a way as well. So that'd be a little.
I disagree with that.
I don't know. It kind of would be. Why not? Why wouldn't it be considered profiting off the pandemic? He's making money off of people visiting his website to update people on the coronavirus. Yeah, but apparently his website is so good that it seems like everyone should be using it. So like.
Yeah, but he didn't make it with the intent of it. Like, it's something that just came up.
Yeah, but that's what it could become, right? So, like, I don't know if I'd want to socially be seen as, like, a sellout on that front. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's, like, that's not being a sellout. That's just, like, like, a good opportunity. Like, if he sold, like, the entire rights to fucking, like, Coca-Cola, and it was, like, Coca-Cola's Corona tracker, then, yeah, that'd be selling out, but if it was still under his name, just slap a couple ads on it, it's like, it's fine, dog.
No, I don't disagree. I don't know.
It's just interesting. I feel like it's definitely, like, where you stand, but I don't know.
I mean, he's a lot, like, at 17, I would have taken that no questions asked.
I think, to be fair, at any age I've been at, I would take that no questions asked. Probably 5 years in the future, too. But I'm not this kid, so. I guess shout out to him for making it, because I have checked out the website and it is very like well done. It's well put together and it's pretty it's accurate to my knowledge. You know what I mean? Because then again, we still don't know at all what the fuck is going on with everything. So, but another thing that I liked, that like with the whole Corona thing, all the sports are shut down, all that yada yada, and I like that Dana White said he's got private islands ready for UFC events.
Oh,
and like in my head, this is like a very small island that like big enough to have an octagon on, and you just pit people in there and you have people like on boats watching, and I like that idea the most.
Okay, so wait. How would this go down really? Cuz is it on a private island so they can get over the US's restriction on group meetups or something?
Kinda. He wants it to be international, so I guess he's trying to make it convenient for like everyone around the world, and he's just trying to have, I guess in his words, 100% healthy athletes compete.
So the island will be closed to fans, and it'll be streamed on ESPN. Fighters will congregate in one place before flying in on private planes. Okay, you know what? Okay. That... I still don't think they're sending a good message by, like, having people continue as normal.
I would agree to that. I mean, I respect the hustle, no doubt. I respect it, but it's also like, hey man, we don't even know if this shit is like peaking yet or ever coming down. So maybe trying to keep this going right now isn't the best idea.
But then again, could he be doing the world a service on the other side by giving them something to enjoy while they're stuck in their homes?
Yeah. I mean,
like, because honestly, I'm kind of getting like the TV in my house in the living room is just constantly been on the news, and it's just been depressing shit layered on over and over because of this coronavirus stuff. Like, I'm getting sick of hearing the news at this point. So honestly, maybe it's not totally a bad thing that he's giving giving people something other to think about besides the news and coronavirus.
Yeah,
because I mean, all other sports are stopped, right? So I mean, I'm sure like if he's the only sport up and running, they would be going for the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like if they have it all ironed out, like everyone that can be there is tested and they're fine, like I don't see a problem with it. But it does tie back to like if something like the what ifs, like if something bad happens, and this could be not the best, but I think thinking like that is not the way to go, especially in a time like this. You got to be optimistic. Think about the good things that can come. And two people fighting each other to almost death, I like it.
You know, Dana White starts Hunger Games on his private island.
Oh my god, could you imagine if he was like, yeah, we know people have been getting tired of the UFC, so we pit 10 very athletic people in the wilderness together, and whoever comes out alive wins. We got cameras set up on trees everywhere. Just gotta find a name.
Be ever in your favor.
Yeah, just staying away. It's just, I really wanted to reintroduce blood sports into the world. I think the gladiators were really onto something back in the day.
Yeah, man. It's funny. We talk about blood sports a lot.
I mean, I'm not saying bring them back, but I'm not saying I wouldn't be entertained. You know what I mean?
Did you know that a lot less people died in the gladiator ring than media and history makes it out to be?
Really?
Because gladiators and slave fighters were very expensive to train and have profit, so you wouldn't really be okay with just losing one.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So when they would die, it'd be from either a rare, like a like an accident or like there obviously was fights to the death, but they weren't as frequent. They wasn't like the daily occurrence, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's because I remember reading shit of like they would just put like people in pits with lions and just watch.
Well, that's a little different.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me. I'm not seeing why we shouldn't bring it back, but no, what do I know?
I mean, put me in a pit with a bear, and I'll show you the modern day version of it. Dude, okay. Circling back, I don't know if anyone browses Reddit or anything, but I saw a GIF on Reddit of some people in Russia just casually playing with a bear's gums and a bear's teeth, and this was a brown bear. Holy man. They were slapping it around, playing with it, laughing while they were scratching it, and this thing literally is the size of a freaking small car.
I mean, to be fair, it was like indoors, so I imagine they somehow domesticated it. But like the big question is, how the fuck do you do that?
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think it's domesticated. I mean, it's gonna sound kind of sad. There's no way that bear wasn't heavily sedated on something. That was not a like that bear would not have a clean drug test. Like, there's no way.
You could
at
be right.
all.
But then again, you got to think it's Russia, and the stigma.
I mean, unless they speak fucking bear, like they were literally playing with its teeth and slapping its gums around.
Well,
it's a bear.
It's probably the same as like a dog. Like maybe they found it as a cub and just raised it. Maybe. I don't know.
You know, part of me wants to deny that possibility purely on the fact that if that's possible, why the hell haven't I done it yet?
Well, mama bears tend to hunt down their cubs for a very long time. So,
well, I mean, like, bears are wild animals. Even if you did take it as a cub, it eventually, instincts would still tell it to, like, it wouldn't stop it from just fucking slapping you so hard you die.
True.
So that's what makes me think it was just heavily sedated.
I mean, like, yeah, it makes sense. But at the same time, yeah. I like to think that in Russia, people just have bears as pets, and that's just normal. And that's just.
I like to think that, like, the bears just walk through the center of Moscow. Like, they just walk through the center of town. People just casually walk past it as if it was just like a pigeon or something.
Yeah, like a stray cat.
Yeah, exactly. Like bears are Russia's stray cats.
That'd be hard as hell. That'd be so cool, actually.
Just walk around a corner and you see two bears just fighting in an alleyway, and then you pass by as if it was nothing.
Yeah, or you like hit both of them and they just stop and run away.
Oh my god! You say "Hey!" really loud, and they just sprint off.
Exactly.
One like fucking flops over a fence, the other one tears off the other way.
Well, I guess the bear equivalent of flopping over a fence is just running through it, but.
True, just dozes over it.
Gosh. I don't know. I've always been interested in, like, not domesticating, like, wild animals. Like, I don't think people should do that, but, like, the idea of, like, what having certain animals as pets would be like.
Well, actually, speaking of Russia, Russia has been, I think for, God, almost 80 years now, they've been dealing with a family of foxes that they've been slowly domesticating. So their goal is to fully domesticate foxes.
Huh.
And through selective breeding and human acclimation with each new breed. Yeah, it's very interesting. They're very close. Actually, there's some relatively recent YouTube videos from the sanctuary that's doing the study as well. But it started like 50 years ago in Russia, or 80 years ago in Russia, but I know like other facilities have been able to then buy these more tame foxes from the source, and then they start their own facilities where they are then doing selective breeding of their own, and yada, so on.
Yeah.
But it turns out foxes are actually relatively close to being able to be domesticated. Like, probably within our lifetime, it could be almost normal to have just a house fox.
That'd be very interesting. Do you think you could have one?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. They're very cute. They have their they kind of have like the springiness of like a cat, of like they want to climb and they want to, like, you know, they're agile, but they have like the mannerisms, the begging nature, the loving, friendly, tender nature of a dog, which is very interesting. The main thing that they're trying to breed out right now, from the last time I checked up on the study, is the fox's overwhelming like need to want to like dig and burrow and escape from being in an enclosed space. And you may think, oh, so they're not that close because it wants to escape from an enclosed space. It's more like they're trying to breed the fox's like temperament to be okay with not just constantly being on the move, is more or less the thing.
I mean, we did it with dogs. There's some dogs that are like still like that, but I imagine you would just kind of treat a fox like a dog, of you have to take it for walks a lot, or just like bring it out in open fields and let it run.
They're definitely high energy, but it's also like it's because they still have the foraging nature. So like it's hard to even see what they're like outside of a big fenced-in area, because they're so inclined to just catch on to a scent and just keep following it and following it and following it. It's very interesting. Yeah. I recommend checking it out. You can just type in domesticated fox into YouTube, and there's a channel where a guy like meets like 5 or 6 of them. They come in and just say hi. Some of them just chill and lay down next to them, and some are scared or whatever. But I would definitely have a domesticated fox, is the point I'm trying to make.
I'm glad. I love the videos of people like just casually walking up to like certain animals, like I guess like tigers. That was one. But the one that always baffled me was when people would like just be friendly with wolves, because I never realized how huge they are.
Wolves are, yeah, I completely agree with you. There's that one girl that keeps coming up from the wolf sanctuary.
Yep.
Where she comes up and they all just like, they ask her for like belly rubs and shit.
Yeah.
And meanwhile they're like 2 times her size.
Like, it's insane. Like, I always pictured wolves like the same size as like foxes. Like, you see pictures and you think they're not that big. They're like kind of like the same size of a dog, but it's literally like 2 Great Danes. It's insane.
Yeah, they're fucking big. Well, also there's different types of wolves, to be fair. There's like red tail wolves and gray tail wolves, or gray wolves and red wolves, and so I'm sure that plays a big part into it. But some of them are freaking units, man. They're like dire wolves from Game of Thrones.
Dude, facts. That reminds me, kind of related, kind of unrelated. I want to get one of those like wolf shirts, like the really old ones. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I do not. Like,
they're so ugly. Like, it's just like a wolf howling at a moon, but like it takes up the whole shirt.
Yes, I do, and I know this because my mom has one, and she occasionally wears it as as night clothes, like relaxing around the house.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a blue shirt with white mist crawling around the shirt, and then in the center of the shirt is just a massive moon, and then there's a wolf for no ass reason that's basically like freaking stickied onto that, and it's just howling up into the air, not even facing the moon. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I know. I want one of those, but I want it in like a XXL and just live in it.
God, that's horrible. Please,
please
don't ever wear that. Yeah, no, Dan is triple XL, and he's not overweight. He's just got really big shoulders.
small forearms, small biceps, huge fucking shoulders.
Huge shoulders. My man out here looking like a pentagon, like.
Oh my God, you're right. Fuck.
Yeah.
I will say, one animal that I think I would love to have a pet otter.
They're cute. They're very cute.
They're so cute.
Do you see the thing that the otters, when they take naps, they hold hands so they don't drift apart?
It's so cute. They're
so adorable. And they have a pouch where they can keep their special rock, because otters are known to have one rock that they keep, that that's their rock.
Yeah. And
I love a special pouch for that.
I love when like otters, like when they sleep on their back and they have like their kid on their stomach.
Yes, it's so cute.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. I think like a completely domesticated, like, I don't know, like eagle would be cool.
Eagle, like a bald eagle.
Just a regular eagle.
That is another animal that is so fucking huge and you don't think about it.
Yes, dude, birds get massive, and I didn't realize it. There's some breeds of owls that are like the size of like my niece.
Yeah, there was a video on a great subreddit called Nature's Metal. It was like a trail cam, and it was like a bald eagle stepping up to like a fisher cat, and like fisher cats are like the same size as like tigers almost, like some can be, and the eagle was like basically bigger than it, and it was just terrifying.
No, they are startlingly large. Like big. I don't know, man. I'm just like, I kind of, because I've been thinking about like how how scary like prehistoric versions of these birds must have been when they were massive flying through the air. And I mean like massive. Like, could you imagine if an eagle was still like the size of a fucking car? How scary that would be.
Dude,
if that was just out in the wild patrolling the fucking air.
Dude, when I was a kid, I used to have nightmares that like dinosaurs roam the earth still, like with us living. And my dream was I'd always get chased by a T-Rex and I'd run into my house and then I'd wake up as it was like crashing over the house.
Oh, jeez.
And like there was always a pterodactyl, and the pterodactyl like blocked out the sun. It was just
yeah.
It was that was just me as a kid. I don't know.
Huh. I mean, not the most irrational fear.
But it wasn't even like I was afraid of dinosaurs. It was just like,
oh, that just happened to be the case?
Yeah, it was just like it just happened to be a dinosaur.
You know, you probably watched like an episode of Scooby-Doo or something when you were a kid, and that just imprinted in your head of like, oh no, getting chased by a dinosaur.
Probably. I mean, as a kid, I remember I used to have a lot of like dinosaur action figures. That I just
action figures, toys, dinosaur toys. I guess figures. I guess works.
I don't want to give them the T word. I want to give them a little more respect.
All right, dinosaur figurines.
Thank you.
Figurines. I used such an extra word.
I used to have like a whole bin, like a huge bin full of them. But then we gave them all the way to my little cousin. Yeah. Now he likes them.
I feel like I also had a large bin of dinosaur figurines.
I imagine it's just, yeah, don't say toy. Come on, you're better than
that. You're right. I'm sorry. I'll pay him the proper respect. Gosh.
Like, somebody that collects, like anime figurines, and someone's like, what are you doing with all those toys? And I'm like, excuse me?
You mean my dinosaur figurines? Hello? Do you think the Brachiosaurus would call you a toy? Probably, because he would stomp you to death.
Yeah, it's
toys.
If you call my T-Rex a toy one more time, Jimmy, I'm gonna call your mom so fast you'll never see me again.
Jesus Christ. Bet.
The good old days. Is there anything?
The good old days.
Tell me about your childhood, Bobby. Anything fun you used to do as a kid? Not really, don't have
to. No. But there is, I want to shout out Lady Gaga for casually raising $35 million in 7 days for WHO's Global Coronavirus Response Fund.
Nice.
And, yeah, I just want to shout out her because she kind of was just chilling. Also, Pink apparently recovered from coronavirus in secret and then donated $1 million, which is cool.
Oh, I forgot Pink was still making music.
But then there's the Twitter CEO, Jack Dorsey, donating $1 billion of his own equity in COVID-19 relief funds to cover COVID-19 relief efforts.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because
I believe that's like 27% of his entire worth.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like 27-30, somewhere between there.
Basically, it was like almost a fourth or more of his net worth.
Yeah, and
which is crazy.
Yeah, and I imagine
absolutely crazy.
There's probably still people out there who are like, "Oh, that's not enough." Still.
I mean, in reality, they don't have to donate shit, man. And this guy donated a lot by his standards. I mean, isn't that... How much did Jeff Bezos donate to this?
I think he recently donated like $100 million.
Okay. Well, anywho. So good job to the Twitter CEO. Good job to Pink. Good job to Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Like backtracking a little bit to Lady Gaga. I've liked seeing that there's a lot of artists that are they're like live streaming concerts. And I know one is I watched a little bit of Alice in Wonderland do a set.
Alice in Wonderland?
She's like an EDM artist. And
okay.
It was like a rave. And it was actually like it was really good. It was very weird because I wonder what it'd be like to like be in your room, like just like treating it as if you're in, because I mean like essentially you are in front of like thousands of people, but like to just be in front of the camera must have been really weird to like get excited and like try and hype people up.
It must have been a very different energy feel. Like I imagine it probably felt like they were in the recording studio, but they didn't have as many chances to run it back.
Turbo. Yeah.
Right? Like I imagine that's how they had to go into it. Because you're right. Like being in a concert has to be a completely different feel for the artist that's singing there, right? Because like I don't really have the stage experience, but like I imagine being in front of all those people really does play a part in how your voice sounds when you're vocalizing it in that scenario.
Well, I mean, like, for majority of people that are performing, you kind of play off, like, the crowd's energy, and you try to play to that.
Yeah, okay.
And when you can't really judge how people are feeling other than seeing, like, the chat being like, oh my god, this is so cool! It's kind of...
But I doubt they're reading chat, you know?
No, I know, but, like, it's the same thing of, like, it's hard to, I don't know, put on a good show when you don't know how people are reacting to it.
Yo, let's get everyone in a Zoom and we can all pop off and she could see us just popping off, right? Come on.
Yeah, get a Zoom of like 20,000 people. I'm sure Zoom could support that.
Yeah, I mean, they would love the data from 20,000 people. Call back to last episode.
Very true. They would enjoy that and they would sell it to somebody. So have fun with that.
And that somebody's probably Facebook, so...
Yeah, because Facebook is
call back to last episode.
Facebook's trying to take your kids, whether you like it or not, so...
Facebook's trying to take your life, whether you like it or not. Like, they're going after everything, really.
Facebook is sucking your soul away, and there's nothing you can do about it. 15 hacks on how to prevent it.
Dermatologists hate him.
Dermatologists hate him. Gotta love BuzzFeed. I'm sure they're doing
Gotta love BuzzFeed. You know, okay, I've been thinking more about this virtual festival thing. I mean, I know, here he is, Bobby coming in talking about drugs. I mean, I would get some enjoyment because it wouldn't feel like a private concert, but it would feel like so it'd be like watching a Twitch stream, right? So it'd feel more intimate, right, than if you were just watching a concert video, I imagine, online.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you were to, like, you know, give me a nice joint and I just turn the lights off, turn the LEDs on, I could probably see myself vibing to an online concert like that.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, why not? And if I like the artist enough, why not?
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay for it.
No, I don't think you'd have to. Well, but a lot of people did, like, they had their concerts to, like, raise money for COVID relief, so...
Alright, yeah. Okay, I would do that.
So, that's good. Towards a good cause, and, I'm about it. I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I know Sway Lee did one that I watched, that one was actually just hilarious. Like, he just played his music, and he, like, pretended to do, like high-fiving people in the stands, like, crowd surfing and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't know, it's just a good time.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Actually, we never really talked about it, but Team Trees, by the way, did reach their goal of 20 million, by the way. They're actually at 20, it was like 21.8 last time I checked.
Right. I meant
to talk about it. I don't know if we talked about them reaching their goal.
Yeah, I know we talked about donating, and we did donate on the podcast, but
I think that's when it was still at like 14 million, if I remember right.
I'm not sure. It was definitely a while ago. I think it was around the 50s of our episodes.
Well, anywho, I only just thought I'd mention it because people are still donating to it. Funny enough, even with the coronavirus stuff going on.
Yeah, it's very weird. There's so many things to donate to at this point.
Yeah.
It's hard. Life's weird at the moment.
Anywho, I don't know why I'm on to mention that. I think it's just because it popped into my brain because I was thinking about charity.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yes, sir.
If you want to wrap it up, we can, be honest.
Sure. All right, folks. That has been the Frying Pan Podcast. You know the drill. We got social media. The handle for both of those is the Frying Pan Pod. And we have our email, which is inthepanpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us over any business inquiries and or constructive criticisms over there. We'd appreciate that. And speaking of constructive criticisms, you're listening to us now on pretty much any audio platform that you can find podcasts on. So on that platform, if you could take your time to leave a like, a star rating, a comment, we would much appreciate that. A comment goes a long way. We do this to get better, and the best way to get better is through constructive criticism. And for the last time, folks, this has been the Frying Pan Podcast, episode 75. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Stay indoors if you can help it. Actually, do stay indoors. Don't go out. This has been the Frying Pan Podcast, episode 75. I've been Robert D'Onofrio. And that was Yoshi gargling?
Kinda, yeah.
Have a good one, folks.
Take care!